When I tell you that I gasped when I saw this news, I am not lying. I could not believe what I was seeing, that Pure Romance, an adult toy MLM, is now selling a diet. Let's talk about it. Hi folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kat. I'm a licensed and registered dietitian nutritionist, and on this channel we like to talk about weight neutral focused approaches to health, as well as dive into scammy and unethical nutrition related products, businesses, and other nutrition related fear mongering claims. And this includes a lot of MLMs or multi-level marketing companies. Okay, so I am currently trying to get the program guide, whether it's in PDF form or in physical form, but this information, what I'm using for this overview, is coming from their website and also their blog website. So pureromance.com and then also blog.pure21.com. So Pure Romance, kind of like many multi-level marketing companies, health related ones and non-MLM companies as well, decided to jump on board the kind of New Year's trend for wellness challenges or dieting. So their website claims Pure 21 is a first step in a lifestyle change that reshapes the way you think about your nutrition and your body. It is a challenge and commitment you make to yourself. 21 days, 5 supplements, 1 transformation. Now, 21 days really isn't enough time that I would consider to see a transformation happen. And it's really not enough time when you look at behavior change and behavior coaching, even outside of dietetics, where we really would recommend someone doing something like this. Challenges in general often have this kind of like very mentality of all or nothing, and like start this and end this, and not really helping promote these actual lifestyle changes. Most quality like coaching programs, they're not going to be in support of these kind of challenges. Evidence-based wise, we don't see long-term benefits really from this kind of structure. And you add on top of that the fact that they're taking 5 supplements with that, it's a really big red flag for just making some easy money, in my opinion. It is a 21-day program with detailed nutrition guidelines and your choice for exercise. Pure 21 is the perfect jumpstart to a healthier future, whether it's refreshing your commitment to simple daily changes or taking the first step towards major lifestyle goals. The purpose is focusing on what your body needs, not what it wants, and the goal is a new you. A you that feels healthier, leaner, more active, and better than ever. So like at first glance, that sounds really great, right? Like to have the purpose focusing on what your body needs, not what it wants. I mean, there's a whole lot to unpack. I mean, there's a whole connotation or idea that some people think that they can't do something like intuitive eating because they would only want to eat potato chips all day or have ice cream all day, every day, when that's not actually, when you look at what intuitive eating is, it's a dynamic interplay of instinct, emotion, and rational thought. And really, if you have that every single day, all the time, you're going to get tired of it. That's kind of going off in another tangent, but to really focus on what your body needs, not what it wants. For most people, I would say, in my experience, several years of background, it takes people a lot longer than 21 days to really figure out what their body needs, not what it wants, and to really unpack like what it wants and why it wants it and what are the different reasonings for that and what is the environments and everything. And so I just think that there's a lot of like, it sounds great, but looking at it from this perspective, just starting off, there are some red flags that I see at this length with that many supplements. And we'll get into it, but there is also an approved food list and a non-approved food list. And whenever I see that, that's also another red flag that this is not really learning about what you want. It's about following external rules. So this program is broken down into 3 weeks. There is a blog article talking about the first week, or week 1. It says the first week is focused around digestive health. They say that this first week we're setting the stage for best results by supporting your digestive tract. The digestive enzymes will help your body break down the foods you eat so you can better utilize the nutrients you consume. It's important to keep your diet as clean as possible. Red flag for clean. It's important to keep your diet as clean as possible to allow these digestive enzymes to work as effectively as possible. Not really, but they go on. This will help increase your metabolism, aiding in weight loss. So in reality, like digestive supplements or digestive enzymes that are in these supplements can be very helpful for some people who have pancreatic issues, who have pancreatic concerns, and concerns that they're not producing enough digestive enzymes. Enzymes are kind of like these little scissors that break apart your food. If you have a peptide bond or like protein, amino acids all linked together, those enzymes can break them apart, so making them into those individual amino acids that your body can digest and utilize. Same thing happens with glucose, with carbohydrates. That even starts in your mouth with salivary amylase. And with fat too, we need digestive enzymes. The problem is most people aren't deficient in digestive enzymes. You can have symptoms of being deficient, but when you dig in further, it's usually another issue. And so by people just having some digestive enzyme related symptoms, which in digestive health, a lot of the symptoms can overlap. If somebody just goes with the multi-level marketing companies supplements or non-MLM supplements to treat their digestive issues, they might be missing other issues that are going on and that really need to be the focus of treatment versus taking this kind of supplement. So unless you're experiencing something like pancreatitis or pancreatic cancer, cystic fibrosis, mostly pancreatic related conditions, the likelihood of needing digestive enzymes is just very low. And if they are needed, it's recommended to get them prescribed by a physician who can prescribe a digestive enzyme supplement that has a variety of enzymes in there or a specific kind. And just that side note about keeping your diet as clean as possible, unless we're talking about actually eating clean versus dirty things like produce, like you want to rinse off your produce. We don't want to have it dirty physically, but just that connotation of clean foods versus dirty foods, it really ties into or brings into that kind of morality piece with food versus being able to see food as neutral and recognizing what is the best choice for you in that moment. I've mentioned this example plenty of times in other videos, but just really basic example of if you are running a half marathon, you haven't, or if you're about to run a half marathon, and if you haven't eaten anything that morning, if I have a handful of kale or handful of graham crackers or animal crackers, like what is going to be the healthier choice for you in that moment? Those cookies, that is going to provide you more of the energy that your body needs versus a handful of kale that's not only barely going to provide you any energy, but also might upset your digestive system while you're trying to run. And so we can't just always say that kale is healthy, right? Because in that moment, it's not a healthy option physically for you to have. So like blanket statements of clean food versus unclean food or dirty food, I'm just not a fan of it. It helps some people. You can call it what you want, but just in my practice and how I practice with people, I don't recommend that kind of terminology. That's a side point, but again, this is just my overview of it. And also, this is anecdotal, but I've just seen that kind of terminology turn into or lead someone down a orthorexic kind of path. Orthorexia meaning that kind of fear of unclean or unhealthy foods. And also, if people are going to be changing their intake of food with the clean or with the approved food list versus the non-approved food list, they might very well receive a benefit. They might have this kind of change in their digestion and they might feel better. And unfortunately, they might see the supplements as the reason why they're feeling so much better. They can put that result on the supplements versus changing their intake by adding some more produce or having maybe more balance in their meals. So you're just introducing so many variables in this 21-day period, so many supplements that like, what is really making the difference? What if somebody does do this and they're like, oh, I feel great, I have so much energy, all this stuff, like, was it the supplements or was it because you actually started having a balanced breakfast and not just eating, you know, a very small little snack that really doesn't support your like a balanced blood sugar level? Like, what is it? Most of the time, it's going to be those changes that we know are foundations of feeling great and supporting physical health than it is the actual like diet itself or the supplements. So as I mentioned, with the approved and not approved food list, it does expand a little bit in week 3, but it still doesn't focus on that behavior change and the just empowerment that you can give people from seeing food as neutral and really looking at the positives and maybe some negatives in that moment and what they really need in that moment versus just having them like follow these arbitrary rules. So in addition to the food list, there is also supplements. So whey protein, digestive enzymes that we spoke about, a probiotic, a multivitamin, and a fiber/herb supplement. Their whey protein comes in chocolate and vanilla, and their label suggests that it's a basic isolate whey with a little lecithin, which is expected as a thickening agent. So nothing really shady there. Whey protein isolates are more processed than whey concentrates. Processed is not a bad word. Processing specifically of whey protein reduces, when you change it from that concentrate to that isolate, that kind of takes out more of the carbohydrate in there, making it a better choice for somebody who has any concerns over like lactose intolerance versus them consuming a whey concentrate. As for any protein supplement, I recommend to choose one that has third-party testing. That third-party testing is going to allow it to make sure that everything on the label is actually in the product and that it doesn't have any other contaminants or fillers or anything like that. There are several other high-quality non-MLM protein sources that are third-party tested and available at a lower price. Some of the ones that I like don't have that extra third-party testing, but some of them do. That's just a personal choice of which one you want to go for. They also do have this probiotic. Their probiotics contains 10 strains and it comes out to 7 billion colony forming units, which current evidence suggests anywhere from 5 to 20 billion at the dose of or at the time of production, depending on need and desired outcome. So while there are several medical conditions that probiotics may be recommended for, even within that and those people who have those specific conditions, that can vary based on the person, the type of strains, and also the product itself, like what the recommendations are. Currently, a summary of research suggests inconsistent benefits in digestive health, and other studies suggest no benefit, either in all or in individual symptoms. Several of the strains found in this probiotic can be found in other over-the-counter products, and probiotics are generally considered safe for consumption if you think about like the ones that are in food related products like kombucha, kimchi, yogurt, things like that, fermented foods. However, it's important to remember that you can get digestive symptoms, bloating, constipation even, when you're starting to take them, as well as potentially triggering some allergic reactions. There are some people who have an increased risk of infections that might occur, such as those with a critical illness, those with a weakened immune system, such as those taking something like chemotherapy, and people who have recently had surgery. So it's always helpful, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before starting to take supplements like probiotics. Now they also have a multivitamin. Their multivitamin is kind of what I would expect. There are so many multivitamin supplements. Most studies find little to no benefit from adding a multivitamin to your diet. Most of the time, they're not going to cause any issues, but generally not going to be this blanket recommendation statement. Other studies show some potential benefit. It really just kind of depends on how the rest of your intake is other factors. Generally though, multivitamins aren't really beneficial or recommended if your variety of food intake is pretty varied, which if you're following their approved food list, you're going to have pretty nutrient dense foods. You're going to be consuming nutrient dense foods with their list. And so I just kind of see this as money down the drain, in my personal opinion. I generally don't recommend a multivitamin or like extra vitamins unless we know if you have some lab values that show that they might be needed, or if your intake very much suggests that it would be recommended or beneficial. It's just not something that I feel comfortable recommending to, like, as a blanket. Any multivitamin. Their multivitamin though, I'm looking at a picture of it, it contains some excessively high amounts of certain micronutrients compared to the recommended daily intake. And keep in mind that you're going to be eating, you're going to be consuming foods outside of this, so we don't need it to be that high. There are a few added ingredients, nutrients not typically found in multivitamins. However, they don't appear to be in like therapeutic studied amounts. All right, so they have the digestive enzymes that we spoke about a little bit earlier. As I mentioned, enzymes help us to break down food. Typically though, we have enough digestive enzymes from our pancreas, and there's little evidence for using digestive enzymes in a supplement form to help with symptom management of digestive issues. And again, if you are having issues with digestive enzymes, that is something that needs to be brought up to your doctor, your dietitian. It needs to be something that a health professional is following versus being treated outside with a kind of MLM supplement. And the last supplement that they have, it is a fiber/herb supplement, and the website says this powerful 7-day detox is formulated with 10 select ingredients including fiber, herbs, extract, and nutrients to strategically eliminate harmful toxins from your body while improving the strength of your immune system and promoting weight loss. Side note, I did report that to the FTC because I feel like there are some excessive claims in that. But there are currently no studies using this product to suggest that this product does what it says that it does. Typically, if we get a variety of nutrients from our food consumption, our livers and our kidneys can do what their jobs are to do, which is to help naturally detox. The benefits that you would receive from, let's say, fiber, which can be really beneficial, like the psyllium husk, those are typically at higher amounts than what would be seen from taking 2 capsules that are mixed with other ingredients. It's just, if you're needing the benefits from something like psyllium husk, I would recommend to have a different amount and not with this mix. In summary, looking at this program, the supplements, the blog articles, it doesn't really appear to be this kind of groundbreaking program, which I wouldn't expect for a groundbreaking program to happen because we know the foundations of nutrition. We know what really helps people, and behavior change wise, this also isn't really aligned with what we see in literature that does help with behavior change. Not only that, but in my professional opinion, some of their approaches to this plan supports actions that are typically found in disordered eating, which that is a red flag for me, and that's something that I'm going to always not be a fan of if I see it show up in dieting programs or wellness programs. There are many healthy ways to increase the intake of nutrient-dense foods and to promote having a healthy relationship with food and body. This is just not what I would recommend if somebody were to come to me and ask me specifically for wanting more nutrient-dense food intake and a healthier or healthy relationship with food. Lastly, remember to always talk to your healthcare provider before starting specific supplements, as they may interact with certain medications or conditions. I have Hashimoto's, for example, and there are some like very natural supplements that could interact with that condition or with my medication surrounding that condition. It's just something that you don't want to mess around with. So check in with them, or if you have a nursing line option, it's always a good option. And if you are somebody who is pregnant or chest feeding or anything, that's also definitely something that you want to check in to make sure that that is safe. All right, so that is the wrap up. If you like this video, please give it a like and make sure you're subscribed if you would like to be. And remember, you can strive for health without subscribing to diet culture. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.